スターです。皆さんこんにちは。皆さんの一日、そして一週間はどうでしたでしょうか？ I hope your day and also your week went well. 今回の動画はほとんどが英語なので、今回字幕付き日本語をつけておきましたので、そちらをよろしくお願いします。Okay, so you see a new face here. She's my new roommate, Hannah. Girl, introduce yourself. Okay.
I'm Hannah. I'm Esther's new roommate. We moved here about 1 month ago. I'm born and raised in Chicago, but I moved to St. Louis to go to SLU for college, and that's where I met Esther. Yeah, we had a mutual friend, but like we barely hung out in college. Like I saw you around, but we like didn't ever hang out really until like this past year.
Yeah.
Like, once.
It's crazy how, because we would never had an expectation like
No.
when we first met, I'm like, I'm gonna be living with
Right.
her. Like,
So crazy.
no, yeah.
So crazy how things
But
work out.
honestly, she's amazing, so I do enjoy. Before I start, I'm wearing this cute shirt. It's called Japanklyn. It's a combination of Japanese cultural and Brooklyn cultural. It's really cute. He also have a different like design for sweatshirt and hat. If you're interested in, please check the link below. I have attached. So yes.
You moved here from Jersey?
Yeah, to
Alone,
New York.
yeah.
Alone. So I actually had this a really interesting thoughts when I was moving. I'm just not good at asking people for help. Like I just don't know how to ask. It's good to be independent, but we also have to be the person, dependable person to ask for help because we can never live by ourselves.
Well, I just think it's interesting that what we're talking about then is that independence isn't always a good thing. Like having that label, like what you're noticing is that like sometimes independence can hit you the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like that means that you don't know how to ask for help and stuff like that.
I have a question though, because okay, you grew up in like I guess you could say traditional Asian cultural family.
Very.
Yeah, and like I guess like just tell me like how was your childhood, and then now you have this personality. How did that shape, I guess?
Oh, like in the lens of independence and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
So, yeah, I grew up in like suburbs of Chicago. I guess we were a very stereotypical Chinese family, but the environment was not, like we were still minorities, right? Like mostly white people around us, white Americans and stuff. And so I feel like we kind of grew up in a bubble because it's just my parents and me and my brother, and like they definitely raised us in a very traditional culture of kids depend on their parents, and the parents will do everything to keep their family safe, keep us together, just focus on school and getting through that, and they'll take care of everything else. I was really, as I got older, I became more aware that not everyone is like that. Like I met especially American people, especially American kids.
Yeah.
When you meet other American kids and you see that like they think on their own, they can like drive on their own, and they get a job on their own, and like all this stuff, it's like I was almost like insecure that I couldn't do stuff on my own. Like my parents were like doing everything for, like they would cook, clean, everything. I didn't have to worry about any of that, and I was really insecure about not being an independent person, which is interesting. I think it's because I grew up though like in America where I am the diverse person. If everyone is mostly white, then like if I step in, then I become the diversity, right?
That's so
and like, you know,
yeah.
and like I become so aware I'm the minority, and I look at everyone else and I'm like, well, this is different, you know? And that's how I became aware. Coming out of that bubble and moving to St. Louis for college, my first thoughts were like, wow, I'm finally on my own. I'm gonna not pretend, but like I'm gonna just learn to be super independent. Like
you were like, I'm going to be this.
Because I was so insecure about the fact that like I didn't know how to do my laundry, I didn't know how to cook, I didn't know anything about finances. You know? Like my parents did all of that for me. Because seeing my parents immigrated to the U.S. and they had to do everything on their own. You know, like they learned so quickly, like in their young adulthood, like how to speak English, how to like do their taxes in America, how to find doctors and stuff. They learned how to do everything, but they raised us in a way that like we don't have to go through any of the stuff that they went through.
Because they don't want you to go through the same thing. I don't think you will ever think about how your parents raised until you get off to college. When you're living in the same household with your parents, like everything that they did to you, I wasn't very thankful at all.
No,
like
not
I was
at
like,
all.
that's normal.
Not at
like
all.
my mom cooks every night. That's normal.
Yeah.
My dad goes to work every day. That's normal. But after getting off college, like
so you become so much more aware of how much they've done for you.
I'm very curious, like how our generation of becoming a parent, because now we're like your generation, right? Our generation, like our parents, especially minority people, our parents suffered, and so they took care of us a lot. So not in a sense of like we are not privileged.
I mean, it is a privilege, but I think it's just a cultural difference. We were more willing to accept being dependent on them. I don't know.
I'm just curious, like how this younger generation will look like. I feel like there's gonna be another problem that we're not even aware of. We'll see about that.
Stay tuned in like 30 years.
But I feel like the most important thing is that you know what your intention is, you know what you want, and you know what your parents did to you. Like you know it from your heart. So
it's important. That's a good point. It's like I wouldn't have these thoughts until I really reflected on the fact like of how much they've done for me. Tried hard to like listen to their stories about how they grew up. Like I wouldn't be as thankful, you know.
Our parents took care of us a lot, and because of them, like literally we are here doing our own thing that we really want to do. We also talk about is like having a confidence, because like when it comes to self-reflection, like independent and all, like having a YouTube too, like I don't want to be fake to like I don't want to say something that I don't really feel. I want to be really honest. Because if I'm watching someone's story and then if I don't feel like they're telling the truth, then I don't, you know, confidence is also the key, because to be honest with someone, I feel like I have to have our own confidence of my opinion too.
And I see what you mean, that like we have to like do the reflection of what we think is important. How you're saying like you want to be real, like you have to have those values and know what you want in order to be confident.
But I feel like this is a great time of like us and also people who are watching. We all live our own life. This is something like actually my brother told me this. Like he asked me this question: when you wake up in the morning, do you feel like you own your life, or someone is owning your life? And I was like, huh? So I was like, oh, Quincy, like, oh, he's coming at me. But I feel like that's also the key, because right now, if I feel like when I wake up in the morning, I can't 100% say like, oh, I own my life. No. Do you think that? No, I don't know.
That's actually such an interesting, because I was not mentally healthy, and like I definitely was in a low place where I thought that I wasn't in control of my life. I mean, we all go in like there's so many ups and downs in life that like I think it comes back to the like kind of doing the reflecting, knowing what you want for your life, knowing what your what is valued, like so that even if the circumstances and the environment is changing and it's not what you want, you at least can own your own like values. And at the end of the day, if you reflect and say like, I did this to take care of myself today, that's like as much as I can do. That time I was really in a low point. It looks very different than today when I'm in like a better place.
That's good though, because like you see your growth overall though. It's not going down. I know for this video I feel like we kind of talk so many different topics, but I feel like the main key we talked was independence, your family, how parents raised you, self-worth and confidence. That's something that we should always have it in your mind.
And I think your viewers like will appreciate you for that, you know? Like, because you're saying you want to be honest, and like that's the first step. Also, seeing other people who are working on that, who are trying to be honest with themselves, that helps me. That helps me to see someone else like talking through their struggles, talking about how they're growing and learning. Like, that's the good part of YouTube and social media,
That's
right?
true. That's a good part of social media,
right.
for sure.
It's the honest part, and I think your viewers will appreciate this.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. This is a good conversation.
I think we had a good conversation.
We do. Esther and I always like go and like
all the time.
We go into deep places and then go back and forth.
Yeah.
And so
if there's any thoughts of like overall this conversation, whether you agree or disagree or not, please leave a comment below. I would appreciate it and want to see like what other people think, because I think sharing opinion is very important. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end. There's still coronavirus outside, so please wear a mask when you go outside and stay safe. Please, please, please. And if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much. 最後まで見てくれた方々、本当にありがとうございます。
Yeah, thank you.
ポチー